Everyone, and welcome. This is Kara Newman. This is the Saturday Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It is Saturday, the 13th of April, 2019. And today we have a very special guest, one of our favorites, Lou Martin, coming to us live from Ireland. Everyone wave at Lou. How are you doing?
Good. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Perfect. And let me introduce who's in the room. We have Rick, Stephanie, Reinhard, of course, Lou, Dawn, and Christine, and then myself. And before we started, I just want to do a little housekeeping, just to remind everyone that I'm going to mute you, Lou, because you've got grinding on your mic, so I'm just going to mute you a second. Sorry for that. But just to remind everyone that on August 8th through the 10th, 2019 is coming up. We have the Ascension Workshop going on in Rochester, New York. If you're interested in joining for several days in beautiful Rochester, New York, with Max and Jim, everyone that you know from Human Colony, get together. I'm going to, someone just typed it to me. I realize you can't see me, but I'm just going to keep talking, so it'll probably come back. If it doesn't, just keep in mind that I'm still here, and we're having some internet difficulties. In any case, Human Colony's Ascension Workshop, August 8th through the 10th, 2019. If you want information, you can go to hucolo.org, and there'll be information about the workshop. Also on Amazon.com, you can buy the, how do you call it, the book called From the Galaxy of Love, Lightworkers Handbook, and it's written by Jim Charles. And it's available in Kindle as a download PDF and also as an audiobook. It's a beautiful culmination of several years of channeling that just talks about our place in the universe. What is the Lightworkers' duty? How do they find their purpose? It's a really wonderful, wonderful book. So please check it out. And if you do get the book, please leave a very good review, because those reviews help the book get even higher ranking and more people will have access to it. So without further ado, I don't know if my picture came back. Hopefully it did. Maybe, maybe not. Someone maybe tell me. Is my picture back? Lou, can you see me?
No.
Okay, I can see me.
Just leave it on the icon. It'll give you the better connection. That'll be fine, I think. I have a lot of experience with this.
Yeah, did you have this issue as well? Okay, so anyway, so I'm just an icon today, but that's okay for me. I don't have my hair and makeup people here. No problem. But anyway, hey, Lou, I'm going to put the picture on you. We can see you just fine. At least I hope so.
I was in hair and makeup for an hour, so I hope
it
was worth the effort.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
So
thank you.
Thank you so very much. So Lou, for the people who don't know you, and we do know you here a little bit, but we always have different viewers on YouTube. Why don't you just give a little, because it's been a while since you've been on, why don't you introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is that you, what is it that you bring in your teaching?
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, happy to. So my name's Lou Martin, and I've been a conscious channel for spirit for over 25 years. I had a spontaneous Kundalini spiritual awakening and meditation in the summer of 1987 during the harmonic convergence. And that was a cosmic awakening experience, changed my life. And shortly after that, I got introduced to my teacher of the last 30 years, Lazarus, through the channel Jack Purcell. And I've studied with Lazarus and Oren and Da Ben, and of course Abraham, and many other teachers that many of us follow these days. And I was trained in spiritual counseling with Reverend Michael Beckwith at the Agape Church in Los Angeles. And yeah, long story short, I've been doing groups and sessions and retreats throughout US, Canada, and Europe. I've been living in Ireland for the last decade. I really love it here. Coming to Ireland was a bit of a spiritual pilgrimage for me after living in the States for 50 years and most of that time in Los Angeles. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here with everyone. And, you know, what I do in my work is try to help people to know that we're safe, loved, and supported, and to learn how to listen to, trust, and follow our most loving and wisest inner guidance. And the best way to do that for my guides and myself here is to meditate, to pray, or to work with affirmations, and to keep a journal every day so that we have access consciously and intentionally to our inner self, our higher self, our soul and spirit, and the energy of love and light through our guides. So like everyone here, I've no doubt we have a lot of things in common. And it was just shown to me beyond a doubt 30 years ago that this is a time of spiritual awakening and tremendous deepening of our connection to spirit and to other realities. And it is speeding up day by day and breath by breath. And it's a joy to get to explore that with everyone and get to learn with and from everyone who's on the path here. So I'm thrilled. This is such a highlight to get to hang out with everyone here today. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I had a question came into my mind as you were talking about going to Ireland, because I left also the U.S. and came to the Netherlands. But what was it about Ireland that pulled you? What was the...
Yeah, this is my ancestry on both sides of my parents. I was mentioning, you're asking me about my name and where it came from. So Louis is my name, which I go by Lou, of course. And that was my grandfather, who had some French and French-Canadian connection. So my people left during the famine, which I learned since I came to Ireland was not just the potatoes going bad, but actually the British starving the Irish for one reason or another. And like a lot of immigrants to North America, to the States, my family actually went through Canada and then down into America that way. And so, yeah, it's just been great to connect with the people, the culture, the terrible weather, and the poetry, the music, and the tremendously rich spiritual tradition of Ireland, of which I know about this much, compared to what I knew before I got here. There's just, it's a universe, the history of the Celtic people and what Ireland has evolved through. So it's exciting for me to keep learning about all of that.
I have a similar thing with the Scottish side of my family. They left also when the British came in and started, the Scottish people were warring people. They loved a good fight. But when the British came in and started starving them and doing all this stuff, that's when they took off and said, that's enough, we're out of here. Yeah. So that was common. And at that time, the Irish and the Scottish were quite, they had fought each other so much they became friends.
Sure. So. Sounds familiar. Yes.
Yeah. So, but I just had wondered, because did it awaken anything in you coming in there and being so close to your sort of roots? That's more my question.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's given me a lot of grounding in terms of not just the spiritual energy that's happening on the planet and that I'm been experiencing the last 30 odd years now, but, to understand the heritage, the traditions. I have a dear friend that I just visited up in Dublin recently, and she knows all the sacred sites and what they represent. And I'm looking forward to connecting with her and working more with her and bringing other people to these sites. I'm also invited to Glastonbury for the solstice in June, and every place on Earth is full of ley lines and grids and vortexes and sacred sites. So it's just a question of tapping into them. I've been able to go to some of them here in Ireland. There's a Drumbeg stone circle, which is 3,000 years old, which is about a half an hour from my house. I've gone there many times for ceremony and the seasons. And Loch Crew, which is the highest sacred site in Ireland, which overlooks about 20 different counties. And there's stone structures up there similar to Newgrange. There's many, many, many places that have great traditions and great history here.
Yeah, I have this kind of experience and or theory about that, when you feel at home somewhere, you're probably connected to it. And I had it when I first went to New York, and where I ended up living in New York. Through my genealogy, I found out that I literally lived on the same street as my relatives. and I
Well,
didn't know, from
yeah,
100 years earlier. But when I was there, I felt like this is my place. This is where I should be. And when I came to Holland, I also had that feeling. And I don't know that it's, I don't know if it's proven, but I just have this thing like somehow you have to go, you need to go home to yourself. Some people are lucky and they're born in the place where their ancestors were, and some of us are very displaced. But I just think that it grounds you, and it opens you to your multidimensional sides and things like that.
sure. I relate. Plus, being an expat, American, and being able to look on what's happening with America from a bit of distance is also very interesting and helpful, I find, in terms of what's the story of humanity and how it's evolving at this time. It was nice to get away from that for me for a while.
Yeah, it desensitizes you by being in it, and it sort of re-enlivens you to see it on a objective way with that view.
Yeah. And I think America is a microcosm of the planet, and Ireland, and of course every country has been a part of that and is a part of that. So it's a huge psychodrama that's being enacted around values and spirit, and people, especially women and minorities, finding their voice and taking their power back. It's a powerful time for all of that.
It is. So before we start, normally we do a blessing, and you are very much the morning blessing guy. I don't,
Am I? I don't know.
I don't know. I think because every day, I don't know if anyone is friend with Lou on Facebook. Every morning at like 10 or 9 or 10 a.m., he does a morning prayer and blessing, and I always like it. It's always nice. Like, even if I can't take part on it, when I just see you do it, if it comes up on my feed, I'm always like, oh, and it kind of, I can send my energy and think, okay, I'm going to join that energy. So normally here at Human Colony, we always do a blessing before we really get started and get into questions. So I'd like to go ahead and do that. And
Sure.
We always ask if someone in the chat would like to do a blessing, as well as the host.
Sure.
So would anyone in the room like to do a blessing before we get started? We might just ask Lou. If you do, Michelle will do one. Okay.
Beautiful.
All right. And then Lou, and then when she's done, maybe you can also do one.
Sure. Be happy to.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Michelle,
Thanks.
go ahead.
Namaste.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. I'll do 3 prayers and then my closing prayer. I am my I am presence, and I am one with the I am presence of my Father, Mother God, the company of heaven, and every man, woman, and child evolving on this sweet earth. I give heartfelt and sincere thanks for the sacred gift of my life, and I ask my I am presence to consecrate every thought, word, action, and feeling that I generate toward more love and more light for myself and my world. I know who I am in freedom. I know what I am in freedom. I know how I serve in freedom. I am here. I am here. I am here. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is sorrow, joy. Where there is darkness, light. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are forgiven, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Father, Mother God, indwelling Holy Presence, we give thanks for this sacred circle before us. We bless everyone drawn into this vibration here and now, our family and friends. We ask to be used for your divine purpose, for love and light, healing and blessing for ourselves and our world. We give thanks, we let it be, and so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. I like that. I like that very much. Michelle, that was beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, thanks, Michelle.
So, okay. So what I had asked you before we started, but maybe I'm going to ask you again for the people who are now here.
Sure.
Is really because you're always, you're in constant contact with people, your clients, and you're very active in your interaction with people. So really, what's alive right now in the messages of, say, the energies that are out there, the messages of the universe? What is really alive for you and seems to be alive within people at the moment?
Yeah, it's such a juicy question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, honestly, going deeper from what we were chatting about earlier, I feel it's really authenticity. I feel people are really reaching for their higher self, their truer self, the best version of themselves, and really doing great work and great healing to let go of old illusions and old struggles and old masks and old disguises and all these kinds of things. And I was thinking earlier before we got on tonight, what to focus on here. And I just feel like truth itself is so precious and so powerful, and it's also in our world under such attack. And a lot of people think there is no such thing, or everyone's is completely relative, and that's valid also. But I feel like for those of us on this very deep spiritual path, we do need to know what our truth is, and we do need to know how to trust it, and we do need to know how to share it with each other. And just to put it in context, Lazarus was saying to us this year that this is the 30th year of the last 30 years of the culminating energies of our spiritual evolution in this particular time. So it really is 2019. It really is the end of a cycle of the last 30 years. So there's a tremendous amount of breakdown and breakthrough energy, of facing what no longer serves us or what we no longer want to align with, versus, surrendering into who we really are. So I would say that to me is the deepest theme I see happening at the moment.
So when you talk about it being like sort of a groundswell from sort of 0 to 100, oh, excuse me, that's my phone.
There's a little grace.
A little comfort, yeah, a little
chiming in. Yes, yeah. There we go.
But what is is there a spillover into the next phase? Because I think we can all agree with that. What you just said, that everything is. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. People are talking. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, but there has been this sort of, whenever people, and I would say, yes, 30 years is about right, because people think it started in 2012. 2012 was a shift, but it had been in motion for a long time. And so when we get to 2019, and believe it or not, it's already April. Yeah. We're not so far from 2020. I mean, I'm already thinking about things I've got to do in 2020, but what is going to be, because I feel like it's finally going to flip. Like it's been like this for a long time. And so what's the next phase?
Sure. Well, that's a fair question. My answer to that, honestly, is I see people moving into their power as teachers and as trusting their own authority and trusting their connection to spirit more deeply, however they experience it, however they manage to get into that alignment. So it's like really the rising of the teachers. Right. I see all this empowerment happening. These classes, these universities, this program, this boom, boom, boom. It's just like an explosion right now since this year began. So it's, that builds on that theme of trusting your truth.
And this is that sort of last moment where, oh, somebody has got their thing on. Lucia, honey, I'm going to mute you there, chica. Okay. We get to hear you. It's so nice what you said, Lou. We got to hear it twice. Yeah. Oh, she keeps unmuting herself. Don't do that. Stop it. We get to hear you. It's so nice. Stop it. Lucia, stay muted. Anyway,
Chaos reigns supreme, my friends. Yeah.
I think it's awesome. So what happens? So we've got all this sort of forward momentum, and I will say that it's good that it's taken this long, because it takes sort of, I mean, I know I've had to just, I've held on so much to where I was even like, one finger. And so now when it finally, just by the, this is the edge, this is all I've got left, but boy, I was still I've got one strong finger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for everyone to sort of, so now is really, like you said, even before we started the call, this is the last bastion of holding on. I think it's the last bastion of holding on to stuff that we need to let go, but it's also the last bastion of things holding on that need to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so how would, I mean, I recognize that. And in my resistances to certain things where I know I should do something, I just don't do it, and I just don't do it. And I have to think, is it one, because I shouldn't do it, or two, because what is that resistance I have? Is it fear? Is it,
It's always fear, my friend.
Yeah.
Let me help you. It's only fear.
So in that fear, how do we address it? How do we really let go? Even when it's really just this, I mean, fear is fear, but this makes my finger really strong to hold on to certain.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You can survive many beatings and feel very noble, that we inflict upon ourselves, through our resistance. I mean, I own that as well. Well, this is another theme that was whispering to me is, so here's the quote from my guides. Let me see if I can gain the focus here. They say, we want you to attain, sustain, and maintain your focus of what you want, who you are, and why you're here.
That's good. Say it again. Can you do it again?
Sure. 100 times if you like. Yeah. We want you to attain. The first step is reaching that level. So to move out of fear, I need to decide, okay, I'm in fear, I'm in resistance, I'm in control, I'm in doubt. I want to get out of it. I need to move in another direction. That's the first step. I attain my separation from that. Okay. I take my power back from that. As when we're in fear, we feel we don't have a choice. We feel victimized. We feel self-doubt, self-judgment. So attain, step one. Sustain. I continue to move in the direction I want to go in. I imagine it. I feel it. I give thanks for it. These kinds of energies. And then to maintain it, the third step is I'm owning it now. I'm in the solution, not the problem any longer. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And so the three focuses of beneath that are, what do you want? Who are you? And why are you here? And they're also, that's another way to say the same thing. Who am I? I'm a spiritual being. I'm a powerful person. I'm honest. I'm responsible. I have help. What do you want? I want healing. I want opportunity. I want intimacy. I want love. Okay. Why are you here? I'm here to consciously choose to create these things now. You see?
Yeah.
So that's helpful for me. I hope that's helpful for others.
It's super helpful for me, but maybe we can open it up to people that maybe have questions about anything that they're going through that maybe we could take a look at, and if anyone has a question. Michelle, do you have a question?
You're hysterical.
Thank you.
Michelle is 51 years old who can't figure out what she wants to do when she grows up. No, actually, I won't commit. I go into I love to do. I do Reiki and I do toning and I do languages and stuff, and I love all that jazz.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it, but it's, I don't know. I think I've had a lot of fear attached to it because it's so weird. Or it's not mainstream, I should say.
Join the club, my friend.
Right.
Yeah.
But
it still isn't weird enough.
I've literally been hanging around this place knowing I should leave for a year. Like, I know I should, and I just shut myself down all the time. All the time. I just go, nope, not doing it, not dealing, not thinking about it, not doing it.
Yeah.
So that's why Karen called on me.
Bless your heart. Yes, you're the only one, Michelle. The rest of us are just sailing through it, sweetheart.
Perfect.
You're the only one.
Fine, the rest of us. You're the last one, Michelle.
Yeah, babe. Yeah. Well, can I help you with that, my friend?
I would love that.
Right. All right. So here's what I relate to what you just said, which is what I've learned is if I don't, like you said, I'm getting the message, I'm getting the message, I'm getting the message. All right. But I don't feel safe enough, or I'm not trusting that message, or I'm not feeling. Here's the way my guides put it. They say to change, to express any feeling, because you're very expressive. That's what Spirit says here. You're really in your heart 100%. To express any feeling, I need to feel safe, I need to feel free, and I need to feel strong. Okay? To express anything. So you just did it beautifully. You jumped right in and you shared your beautiful music with us. Thank you. So it's not about other people accepting you, because that's their business. It's about you accepting you. That's your part of the deal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, hun, as you accept your gifts and you enjoy your gifts and you want to enjoy sharing your gifts in your life, Spirit will create many opportunities for you to do that. The word I hear is, of course, trust, which means letting go of control.
Okay.
Right? Isn't that kind of the issue?
Yes.
Thank you. You're so brave. Look how beautiful you are. I love you madly. So yeah. So the other part of it is forgive, forgive, forgive. The card I keep getting in my angel readings here in the mornings, morning prayers, is divine timing. I've gotten it like 3 times over the last week or so. And it's like, okay, so that's what comes to my mind for you, my friend, is divine timing is whatever has happened up until now was necessary for me to be able to make the next step. So me being here, you and I having this chat, you sitting with these energies, that's all a gift from the universe if you can trust that, you see, and take action on it. And then learn from, my guides say, move slowly and deliberately in the direction of what you want and see what changes.
Okay.
We think we have to do it this way. And no, I want to say, Michelle, it never comes the way I think it's going to come. Ever. I just like, Lou, you are not God Almighty, so just let go, my friend. You see? We'll tell you how it's going to show up. Like Karen and I didn't even have a thought about this until 2 days ago. Here I am, pretending I know what I'm talking about. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I hope that's helpful.
It's helpful. I think a lot of what is or is not happening is a matter of my resistance as opposed but for some reason I have this is very telling of my, I don't know what kind of nature this is, some kind of nature where I think I should
human probably
my hand, that you should just hand me my script and let me do what I'm supposed to do, because like I'm just not feeling the urge to make things happen.
No, you're
make things happen, right? Am I wrong?
No, you're right, Karen. That's just what I was going to jump on. So
Sorry.
Michael Beckwith, no, you're fine, my friend. Jump in. Michael Beckwith has this is a party. I'm here for the party. Michael Beckwith has a great quote. He says, "You don't make it happen, you make it welcome."
Make it welcome. Okay.
I give thanks, Source, Spirit, the Goddess, God, Goddess, all that is, for your inspiration through me this day, for my highest good. That's a winner. You see, it's you're really helping us with the theme that is evolving here with all of us. It's really about being in our power. And the great quote from Marianne Williamson, she says, people are not afraid of their darkness, they're afraid of their light.
No.
And that's the bridge we all have to get over.
I just I don't know.
Oh, good. I'll take that. I like it. I don't know.
Can I offer something?
I'll just let that hang right there for a while.
Sit with that. Sit with it.
Can I offer something?
Yeah.
When I was in India, and then there's a really nice Swami, and if you ever see on my Facebook posts, he always types like Om, divine love, Om. Everything is Om. And he's a person who really knows his I am self.
Right.
And he has no doubt on himself, who he is from the I am person. He goes, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm Swami, sometimes I'm afraid, sometimes I'm this, but I am always. I am.
Yeah.
He knows his I am self. But what he says is, I am not the doer.
Yeah.
So if I try to take responsibility for it or direct it, he goes, I become stuck because I don't know what it is that can come through me if I'm trying to limit it through my small mind. He says, and that's the meditation. I am not the doer. And that whatever, so people say, well, I don't know how to make this happen. Well, you don't make it happen. And people who are healers, or really healers, also understand that they're not doing the healing.
Sure.
They're channeling it through.
That's right. You're holding the space.
You're holding the space. That's what that's a really beautiful thing. You're holding the space to allow.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, that's gorgeous, Karen. And my love to your man there. I'd love to hang out with him. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
I'll make you friends on Facebook. He's lovely.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So, Michelle, the other thing, and Karen, for all of us here is, what we give thanks for is what expands in our life. So, like we're saying, focused on the process, detached to the outcome. So if we're grateful, more things to be grateful for. If we're happy, more things that make us happy. If we're angry or fearful or doubtful or judgmental, more of that. This is the dance between third and fifth dimension, old self, higher self. More ha ha, less boo hoo is the way my guides put it.
Well, that is actually really funny too, because I've been crying for 2 weeks because I know I'm releasing stuff out of karmic.
You think?
It's like tons and tons and tons. It's insane.
Bless you.
It's just like constant crying, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm crying. I'm just crying it. But I like that because I'm sure, like, if I attach an intention of clearing out my chakras, then I just decide it is so. That's what's happening. I don't know.
Yeah. So, sweetheart, I love you madly for your honesty and your courage and your vulnerability to share all that with us. Thank you. And yes, you're trying to roll the stone away from the front of the cave so you can get on with the rest of your life, that you've studied all these gifts and abilities, this and other lifetimes, to be able to share with people who really need your beauty, goodness, and truth, my friend. We need you.
Thank you.
Get in the game, woman. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
No,
no trying. No trying.
I know. I already heard it before.
You're not the doer.
Out of my mouth.
Right. Let God surprise you. God will rock your world, my friend. You're doing great. Because you're opening your heart. That's where all the healing happens.
Yeah.
Okay. You're very welcome. Thank you.
David has a question for you. David, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it just took a second to unmute. Hello, how are you?
Hi. Good. Very good. How you doing?
Beautiful. So, this morning, like every now and then, it doesn't happen a lot, but I get a word that just pops into my head, and
that's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing because I don't even know what the word means, and I have to look it up on Google or something like that.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa, it's actually a word. Sometimes it's like, is that actually a word? Why am I thinking this? And a Garthan complex came to my thought process today, and I was really surprised at the meaning of that one. And I'm just trying to get a better understanding of what's the process here, because I only receive one word, and sometimes they don't mean anything. I don't get the connection. Like they don't seem to mean anything, but today it seems to mean something.
You stumped me. I don't know what an Agarthan complex is, honestly.
Oh, it had something to do with I think underground passages and people that were related to
the inner earth.
Yeah, divine consciousness protecting that and something related to alien activity, making people aware of these things.
Wow. Yeah.
Presenting Tibetan spirituality based on true nature of reality.
Okay.
Really, really cool stuff. And
yeah,
I'm just wondering why, when these messages come to me, how do I work with these and process these? Because sometimes they don't mean as much as this one does. Like
yeah,
what
that's
is
a winner.
the meaning of these messages? Like,
yeah, Karen, let's give you a take on that. Yeah, I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, if I could. Oh, sorry, I'm having a problem unmuting as well. Well, the only thing that comes to me psychically is that you're getting messages for you to have for your own education, not necessarily because you're having to share it. Because if you don't understand what it is that you're getting, then you need to be able to research it and learn. And I believe that we are steered, or is that the word, steered in the direction of what we need to know, learn, explore, and to integrate. So if something comes to you very strongly through, then I would take it as an impulse or an input from your guides, that's something that you need, that's directly relevant to you, to your path, whatever you need to know, and you should explore it in its fullest and understand it. And then the reason why it's come to you will become clear to you in your exploration. But I believe, and this is the pet peeve I have with a lot of questions that people ask, is that they put all of the discovery of what they're supposed to know upon the person they're asking. You got the impulse, you got the information. That's beautiful. You should honor it, be thankful for it, and say, okay, let me go and explore it. Because Lou's not getting that from his guides. It's not something, so it's obviously just for you. So that's something you should explore and learn about and take on board so that you can find out why. Find out why. Obviously, it's related to you in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you were there. Maybe you have connection to it. Maybe you're going to have some input to it. But whatever it is, it's for you to discover, learn, and don't put the question of what is it on the other person. Put it on yourself, because you got the information in the first place. That's what I would.
Okay. All right. I'll agree with 90% of that. I think it is, it actually, I have to tell you, that was gorgeous, Karen. Thank you. It does relate to me, David.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because
Awesome.
I am, it's amazing the way it works, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I do keep being guided to learn more about the inner earth. And there actually is a channel called Agartha, who I also was one of the first channels that I would read and study. So that was a little hit there. But I agree with your point, Karen, to you, David, that this is you trusting your guidance and your information. So it's great. You're opening to channel, and so sometimes it's clear, sometimes it's confusing. My prayer for you, my brother, is meditate, meditate, meditate. And the more you do that, the more you will be discerning and discriminating which is the mind thinking, which is fine, and which is spirit, giving you something that you're asking for, that you're open to receive. Does it make sense?
Yes, that was, thank you, Karen, and thank you, Lou. That was absolutely beautiful. I really like that.
Yeah.
A little clarity on, what direction to go when I do these things. And I mean, makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And this is relating to what Michelle was sharing with us here as well, David. The gift that Karen and I and others are able to bring to people who are still, learning how to trust themselves. I mean, Karen's done so much work in toning and chanting and study and meditation, and me too, is just to come to peace. This is to come back to what we're talking about here. How to get into that state intentionally, to be most receptive, is for me, is to come to peace. If I have to forgive myself and others to do that, that's fine. Come to peace, come to deep peace, hold that deep peace for as long as I can, and then allow whatever wants to come from that clearer energy, that new energy, attain, sustain, maintain, we're talking about, boom, it will drop in like it's dropping in for you, David. So, it happens when you least expect it, when you're not attached to it or resistant to it, but you're just available for it. So that would be my suggestion to deepen that process for you.
Cool. And can I just add one thing? The thing that also came into my mind, David, is what Lou said in the very beginning, the importance of journaling, because I heard you say you kind of get words like all the time. So there's probably some connection, or just to create a map for what you need to study now, what you need to study next. If you're constantly getting the inputs, you should keep track of them so you can look back and see, and somehow they will all connect. And I think that's really cool that I said that there wasn't a connection, but of course there was. So that just also means you were meant to like say that to Lou, so he would trigger something him as well. So so that's really cool. So yeah, cool. But yeah, just the journaling thing popped into my brain area.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question, David, or did you have more?
It was taking a second. It's tough to get
unmuted.
Yeah, that was absolutely great. Yes, I feel really good about it, especially the reminder to meditate, because I did have channeling or question a long time ago, and one of the biggest things was to meditate, said just like that by Yahyel, seventh dimensional spirit guide, part of my first introduction to this world of channeling when I had some health issues and I was seeking answers, and that started me on my path. And I went to Hawaii and I went to all these sites, and just everything started from there. Just amazing.
How's your health now, David?
Oh, well, it's good now. It's an interesting question though, just because it's been quite a journey because of things that have happened. So I'm still pushing and working on some things, but pretty good for the most part. Yeah. Comparatively.
All right. The message I hear from Spirit for you, my friend, is don't try so hard. You get very serious, and you really, you want to do battle and things like that. And then just relax, just let it go, just open up. You're fine. That you're getting that clarity, and it meant something to me, and you shared it here today. Take that as a good sign that you are very clear. But you don't want to, figure it all out or think it to death or worry about it. You see, just open and trust.
Okay, just be like a playful spirit and be like, "Oh, cool. What is this? Let me check it out and see what it's all about."
Yes, lighten up, my friend. That's the message. Lighten up.
Well, it's that part's been tough because of some of the things that have happened have been really, really extremely rough, and I'm just coming out of that. Even though it's been years, it still feels like I'm in it in some ways, and it's hard in certain
areas. I understand. That's why they're pestering me to talk to you about this right now, you see. So they're saying, wouldn't it be nice if you could just look at all that and say, wow, look at all I learned from that, and that was no fucking fun at all, but I'm moving on with my life now. Thank you, God. I'm going to give myself to a loving universe and let go of the drama.
Yeah, I did learn a lot through the process. I mean, it was a catalyst for amazing things.
Yeah. Pain is not punishment. It's resistance. And all of us get to experience it until we let go. That's the simple truth of it.
Yeah.
So let go, Brother Dave. Okay?
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Much love.
You're welcome.
To you and Karen.
Thank you,
and everyone here.
Yeah.
I want to just say something about meditation and about why everyone tells you to meditate all the time. Not you, David, but just in general, everyone, is that awakening, enlightenment, and spiritual growth are all experiential. They're all something that you can only personally experience.
Right.
And it happens inside you. And Lou can talk about his great Kundalini awakening, and and Don can talk about his thing, and Michelle can talk about, everyone can talk about all this stuff that happened. But it's like going to a buffet and just looking at the food and thinking you can get full. You can't.
Right.
You can watch me eat a pizza
Sounds good.
and think, wow, that's an amazing looking pizza, but you can't taste it and you can't get full from it. And you also can't, pizza's probably not the best, pretend it's a vegan, beautiful, nourishing, high fiber pizza, but you can never get the nourishment from the pizza or from the food if you don't ingest it yourself. And,
Right.
and everything that we need to know is inside of us. Everybody has their own inner guru, inner knowing that you only access if you go inside. And yes, in the beginning, we always are asking outside, but ultimately, what you're feeling, the pull is you, your inner part of you calling to you. And so the meditation is the way to go in. And people say they can't meditate. They probably just don't know what meditation really could be for them. They just have to find their own meditation. It may not be exactly what other people do, but inside you, listening to yourself is the biggest teacher that you'll ever have. And that's why it's the constant call. And I think that we don't talk about it enough. It's sort of thrown out there like, oh, meditate. But the reason why is because everything that we need is inside us. Everything.
Yeah.
So
beautiful.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that as well.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Lana has a question. She says, she said, I connect with my guides with Lou's help sometimes. And recently, she got an impulse to be God's advocate. And that's what she said.
Okay. What's the question?
I think that's the question.
Well, that's a statement. I don't hear a question yet.
I didn't hear a question either. So she put it as a statement. Maybe she's asking you if that's correct. I don't know.
Sounds good to me.
Add a question mark that makes a question at the end of your statement. Let's go to Reinhard. He has a comment and a question. We'll come back to you, Lana, whenever you make your new question. Go ahead.
I think you're right. She's asking, is that so? It sounds great. Why not? Sure.
Okay, Reinhard, go ahead.
Okay, hello, Lou. I'm Reinhard. Okay.
Yes,
I just wanted to come on because before there was a question about receiving statement information, and I had always the connection to my higher self where I was led to gather information about certain items. And my experience is that if one thing has been cleared, there was a lead to another one. So it is some kind of crisscross, but in the end is a right picture what you get. So I feel very comfortable with this, and because everyone is not the same with their connectivity. So that's what I wanted to say. So
yeah,
don't be disappointed if you have getting those points. You have to walk through them. That's what I want.
Beautiful. To say. Yeah,
well,
thank you.
On the other hand, I'm happy as it is, and if you have something to say to me, that's fine also.
Well, thank you for sharing that. You're quite right. It's beautiful. I mean, I'm sure the experiences that you have had, have helped you. Just as Karen is saying, we can't do it for each other. But you are sharing your map with us, and I'm sharing my map, and so we want people to find that map in themselves, or the compass in themselves, better said, so that they can trust themselves and move in the direction where you know, we feel called, that has helped us to gain clarity and get insight and healing and wisdom and all of that. And I loved what Karen, you were saying about meditation. You know, this is the thing, isn't it, Reinhard? It's the way my guides say it is, we can lead you to the doorway, but you have to walk through on your own. You have to take that last step of trusting what it is that you're receiving in order for it to be meaningful, in order for it to give you the experience that you're seeking.
Yes.
It's really all about trust, isn't it?
Yes, I know. And this is the way I go. And it was only meant to be as a support to help others to follow their own way. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, my friend. Bless you. You're a sweet soul. God love you, brother. You're
okay.
doing great.
Well, yes, thank you.
Glad you showed up at the party.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, the party, whenever I have feedback. Whoa, what's happening here? Oh. Is one of the things that my teacher in India kept saying is that you bring the party.
Ah, well, that must be why I'm saying it today. I didn't know why.
It's really nice. Yeah, I'm just like, she's always like, when you show up, you bring party. That's yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Cool. Lucia has a question. Go ahead, Lucia.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. I'm Lucia. I'm from Canada, and in Ottawa, actually, in Ontario.
I've been there. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I can help many people that are not part of my family, but when it comes to my family, there seems to be a blockage.
Those are the toughest.
Yes, and you know, we talk about being with like-minded people, and you know, this is my family. I can't really disconnect myself. I can't just stop being around them, even though they're negative. And I'm wondering. I mean, I'm really trying with all my might to let go and let God, but this is about a child here who's not facing the right direction, and I'm just wondering if you have any advice for me.
Yeah, that's a deep one, Lucia. What age is the child?
16.
Okay. And what would you like to see happen for her or him?
Well, I would like this person to get a little bit more grounded. I've spoken many times about this particular person to various beings, and they're telling me that this child here is not quite grounded in the third dimension, that his thought processes are in the fifth. And how can I get him to kind of want to be around here, because he just wants to be somewhere else?
Yeah, hun. Is this your child?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. I'll give you what I get about all of this. First of all, there's no doubt that you love him, of course, unconditionally as a mother, and you care deeply about his happiness. There's two things that are always going on with parents and children. One is, you see your light in the child, and the other is the child reflects back your shadow. And bless you, your will, your intention, your desire, your frustration, your impatience, everything you've done, everything you've tried to do, is not doing what you want. So for me, the message in relationship is always, how can I change this part of myself? And that is really the biggest challenge that I think parents have to work on in terms of their own children, which is you have no power over them. This is Abraham, but you have total control over what you choose to believe about it. So my prayer for you and for every parent, I'm not a parent, so take it for what it's worth, is to keep loving that part of yourself that they are pushing the button of, that they are making you feel like I'm not doing it right, or I'm not good enough, or they're not getting it. Whatever the fear and the judgment is, it's something in us, just like talking with David about health and pain, or Michelle talking about courage and faith, and all of these themes that we all get to dance with. This is your dance right now. And I feel like this is why you're asking for clarity about this. You need to be kinder to yourself, my friend.
Okay. But, I have been kind
Well,
to
that
myself.
didn't last long. Yes. Okay. Yeah,
No,
that was long.
No, it's just because this has been a struggle for 5 years now. So yes, there is some impatience about this. And
but who's
I
counting?
am, who's counting?
Okay,
Well,
right.
It's just, I also know that this child has, let's say when he was younger, he was exhibiting some psychic abilities, and we didn't nurture them. We didn't shame him, but he was shamed at school because he showed some parts of himself there. And then he closed up. This is what was explained to me. And
all right. And
now,
you feel guilty about that?
Well, to a certain extent, I feel that I knew some things, but I didn't. I was a little bit in disbelief because the way that they were talking to me about it, these beings, about my son, I just thought this is a bit over the top, because he was so small. And
surprise,
now
surprise.
I realize that he wasn't. So yes, there's some guilt about that.
Thank you. That was pretty good too there, Lucia. That didn't take too long. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, go on.
No, I can be honest about that.
Yes,
but I am also forgiving myself. That's
good.
But now I see that he's stuck. I am moving on. Things are moving in a very positive direction for myself in so many ways.
Yes,
and
I believe
same
that.
for my husband.
Right.
But he seems to be lagging behind. He's not being inspired by anything. And I'm not too sure how am I supposed to,
just
guide him.
Yeah, just stop worrying about him, my friend. I mean, 5 years and the clock is ticking, and I was kind to myself, and I'm maybe yes, okay, Lou, maybe there's a little guilt there. This is where we hold ourselves back, you see, where you judge yourself. Oh, I should have this, and why didn't I that, and I'm supposed to the other. No, you're loving him. He's going through his process. This is perfect. Let him have his process. Let you have your process. Fall in love with the mystery of it and be good to yourself and continue to know you've done the best you know how to do. And when he's ready to trust his abilities, he will do that, dear. When as you trust yourself more, he will get that vibration that he can trust himself as well, you see. Nothing's gone wrong is the message from Spirit here.
Is there something a bit more practical? I understand everything you just said. I really do. I just like in the moment, in this now moment, is there something that I could do that would just help him, like spur him on?
Yes, you could stand on your head and yodel. How do you like that for practicality? Yeah, it's not about making anything happen for him. It's about you. You're doing very well, my friend. I'm giving you a little bit of a hard time here because it's such fun, but you're doing very well. Thank you. You're doing very well about letting go of your having to figure everything out and always be right and figure everything out for everyone else. That's you're putting your own stuff in the way of things, you see. So standing on your head and yodeling is you saying, I'm letting go now. I'm having fun now. I'm trusting now. I'm not looking over my shoulder about what I should have or could have or why didn't I or why won't I. I'm just being my good, happy self, loving, kind, caring, wonderful mom, wonderful partner, wonderful healer, and I'm letting him have his journey as well. That's the most practical thing I can give you, my friend. Be kind to yourself and let him have his journey. This too will pass.
Yes. Yeah, I know this will pass. I guess the impatience is also because as time goes by and because it's now long-standing, the worry comes in.
Yeah, baby, you keep reinforcing what you're trying to learn to let go of right here and now. And I'm saying, drop the suitcase, that you've been carrying over your head saying, look, I'm a good mom and I'm really trying to raise a conscious spiritual son here. The universe knows that, the pressure is off. Just thank the universe for what you've learned and be kind to yourself, I say again, and forgive yourself for what you didn't or couldn't or shouldn't, whatever, fine, over and out, deal done, and just love him, bless him, and know when he's ready, he'll step into his abilities about all this. It's not, one isn't right and the other isn't wrong. He's not a less beautiful soul because he's not ready to flick his switch and be amazing on a psychic level right now. He's just learning how to integrate this stuff like we all are. take the pressure off yourself, please. You don't have to be perfect. You learn from all of it and enjoy it. You have an amazing son. Enjoy that. He's teaching you something. Enjoy that. You see. Does that make sense?
Yes, about him teaching me, absolutely. One more question, just about how can I not let myself, like you get up in the morning and you're feeling good, you're feeling great.
Yes.
You're aligned. And then
Yes.
you meet up with, let's say,
resistance.
Yeah, and sometimes the resistance takes time for it to really hit you because you have that buffer of positivity around you. And I'm just wondering, how could we not get so triggered? Is there something before we catch ourselves, just because I find that once I fall off, it is a jagged edge. It's the leading edge. And you're like, when you fall off the wagon, you fall off. It's the contrast is it's just so big. Yeah.
Well, the higher up the mountain, the narrower the path, but the more beautiful the view. So when you fall off your bicycle, you go, oh, I'm off my bicycle now. And this doesn't feel very good. So what can I do to get back on my bicycle? Have fun, laugh at yourself, forgive yourself, eat something nice, look at the sun, talk to God, whatever helps you to open your heart again. It's, you're putting yourself under too much pressure, my friend. This is what most people get stuck in. It's not about being perfect. The only perfection we have in life is love. And as you give that love to yourself, then you can enjoy the contrast and the imperfections and not be hard on yourself any longer.
What I'm asking, could you give me some sort of, and I agree with everything that you said.
I thought that was gorgeous.
It was. I'm not.
Yes, nice job.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, I totally agree. What I'm asking a little bit more, just what I'm trying to pinpoint here is, when you are in this, you're in this positivity and the trigger comes, and before you fall off, could you give me a bit of advice as to not fall off? Because I know how to get back, on that bicycle.
Yes,
I don't want to fall off as often.
Here it is. You ready, Lucia?
Yes.
Don't take it personally. That's it. Thank you very much. The hour's up. Thank you very much. That'll be €50. Don't take it personally, my friend. It's just, like your son, you're so, God love you. You're so invested as parents are in their kids. You want him to be amazing every minute of his life. And you're worried you've done something wrong if he isn't. No, it's just the dance. The more you make peace with the imperfections to come back against self-love. So attain, sustain, maintain. I love myself. I accept myself. I forgive myself. I set myself free. This is the affirmation I work with, Lucia, about my inner child. Yeah. And that's what I work with clients on. So, hon, this is what we're all learning to do. It's the season of the heart this whole time. This is why women are coming into their power and opening their gifts so powerfully, because women know their emotions and have been carrying the love of the universe and this planet for centuries. So as you trust yourself and your feelings more, you become more confident about expressing them and having healthy boundaries. So you need to give to yourself what you're wanting life to give to you. Something happens, be kind. Something happens, take a moment. Something happens, retreat into a peaceful place. It's not about controlling everything or everyone. You see, that's a losing battle. Does it make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I got a laugh out of Lucia, everybody.
That's nice. Can I offer something?
Please, yes, I want to. Yes, please.
If everyone just thinks back to when they were 16, which, for some of us, it's further back in the, we never wanted it's also your rebellion time. So he probably is very busy with a lot of the things that you think he's not busy with in his mind, but he may not be telling you because he's still processing, and he may not want to give you the satisfaction of knowing that he's actually listening to what you say.
Oh yeah, absolutely relate to that one.
I know I did that very much. So all this stuff my mother was telling me, I did listen, I did understand, I did get it, but I maybe didn't want to let her know that I heard her at all.
Sure.
And I'm just now at 50 starting to, tell her, yes, in fact, I did get the message. So
it's a great point.
Don't forget, you know, he's his own, and especially at 16, he's coming into his own so much strongly.
Yeah.
He wants to have his own goals and dreams and wants for what he wants to be, and your goals and dreams and wants for him are, you know, and should be secondary to what he really wants for himself. So anyway, that's what I'd offer you.
Yeah, sorry, Karen, let me just add to that, because that's perfect. I love what you're saying.
Yeah.
The moment in any healing session or any counseling session that people feel pressure, everything stops. And our work is, as parents, as counselors, as channels, is to help people take the pressure off themselves. And we don't know how much we're doing that until we start to really let go. So thank you for what you just said, because it's really true, especially between parents and kids. You know, parents think, "Oh, I'm very objective." You're not. "Oh, I'm very detached." No, you're not. "Oh, I'm very patient." You're not patient. You know, etc. So it's good that you bring all of that so we can talk about that and help you to let some of that go and realize, oh, it actually, as Karen is just saying, it works a lot better when I'm not looking for it, when I'm not asking for it.
Yeah. The other thing that just came into my mind is that, you know, when we're in the only time that we're really receptive to anything, anybody, is when we're in our parasympathetic nervous system. When we're in a tense moment in any way, when we're stressed at all, when we feel pressure, we're in our fight or flight, even if it's on a small degree, and we literally cannot hear. So when a parent is saying to you, "Why aren't you listening to me?" the child might be feeling pressured and stressed, and they can't hear you. So the more they feel accepted and loved and understood, even if you don't understand them, even if your idea is to say, "I don't understand you at all, but I'm okay with that because I know and I trust that you will and do." And your child wants the best for himself. He's not going to want less for himself. Sure. So the more that a child or any human being, you and every person here, feels like they're under any kind of pressure, you're in a sort of fight or flight, or you're in a relaxed state. And when you're in fight or flight, you can't hear. You can't get new information. Your vision becomes very tunneled. You can only see what you can see and what you already know. And you're really operating at that point on sheer instinct. And you're not free to absorb and create and flow and everything.
Right. Well said.
I just thought I'd share that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Lana is here, and she has a question. Lana, go ahead.
We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, because I muted myself because I thought Lana was here. Lana, where'd she go? She was here. She was going to ask a question. Where is she? She just popped back in?
And I'm assuming you can't hear me either.
Now, okay, yeah, we can hear. Let me turn you up. 1 second, Lana. Just give me a moment. Let me turn you up.
Oh, I hear you. Okay.
Oh, yes, Yana.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's one of my people.
I know. Hi, Lou. Nice to see you. Hello. Yes. Hey, Lou. I thought you'd be a good person to speak to right now. If the connection allows us to.
Hi, sweetheart.
There's a little bit of lag going on.
How are you?
I am good, and I am just going through a little bit of something and just need a little help.
Yeah, great to hear you.
Can you hear me okay? Because I hear
Yes, I have you now.
Okay. All right, cool. So, you know, I've been really happy just to learn about God on my own and just figuring out exactly how things work and finding my own sort of world order in my own life.
Sorry, sweetheart, you're breaking up very badly. I can't hear you.
I know.
I just know you're there.
The connection is kind of choppy. I don't know if it's on my end or not.
I think so.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I should wait it out till it stabilizes a little bit.
Well, can you type it up? Can you type it up, Lana, please?
Okay, I'll try. I'll try that.
Yeah, type it up if you can.
Okay.
I can hear her fine. Can you hear me fine, Lou? Because you're now choppy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk
to Karen.
Lana, just ask your question. Just go ahead and ask your question.
My question is, I'm not sure what's happening. Ever since I started to speak out and just explain my understanding of God and the way he moves, the way he works to people that might not have the luxury to study it like I had or dedicate as much time. I just thought, to do a service to people and just offer a different perspective and just show the beauty of a beauty of how it feels to rely on him.
Bless you.
And that, yes, I did feel that this was something that God moved me to do because he showed me, well, look how people are, in need of this knowledge and some of them will not think of doing anything to go look for it. So I felt compelled to just start, taking it to masses, so to speak.
How's it going?
And it's, because I did it in a way that was entertaining for me too. It was it was like a gift offering, and at the same time it was humorous and fun and educational. And I was having fun the first, couple of weeks, months.
Okay.
And then everything started to change. And ground started to shift, and I am just no longer feel that stable connection anymore, or like answers are not coming in a regular way. And desperately wanting to know if my guides can me, because I don't even understand what they're trying to tell me. What am I going through, and how can the people that I've connected with, they're also mutating, and I don't know how to proceed, basically. So
I don't know what you mean by that word. They're mutating. What does that mean for you?
Well, like I'm connecting to them in one way, and things are going well, and then it's like it's a switch, and they're no longer themselves.
They're angry with you. They're upset with you. They're disappointed.
It's love. It's love throughout, but it's sort of like they're holding back, and they're dealing with something that they cannot explain to me what they're dealing with, and I cannot help them as effectively because they're no longer the same person I spoke to a few days ago. Yeah,
sweetheart, you're taking way too much responsibility for all this. That's what I hear. This is
well, actually, it's someone that it turned out that I knew before, so I really do care about this person, and I just don't know how is this connected with my mission. And the whole feeling is good. The whole feeling is high energy. The whole experience. It's just kind of sends me in a spin when I can't clearly communicate. And maybe my guides can put that puzzle piece in its place.
Yeah, I say again, you're taking way too much responsibility for all this. You know, the word, my friend, I love you madly, the word is inspired. When you're speaking from spirit and with spirit and you're channeling or you're teaching, you know, you're not there every minute of your life. No one is, you know, few people are on the planet. So you get inspired, you share your experience, strength, and hope with others, and you see what they choose to do with it. That's the end of the job. You know, what they do with it is their business. What you share, that's your business. So you're the postman, you deliver the mail. What they do with it is entirely up to them. It's not your responsibility what they do with it. You're not here to fix, save, or heal anyone unless they ask you to do that and believe that you can help them to learn how to do it themselves. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes.
The ego, dear, is the other word. You know,
Ego.
yeah, bless your heart. You're a kind, loving, caring person, just like everyone here. It's not your job to fix, save, or heal anyone else unless they volunteer to do that and for you to help them learn how to do that themselves. I say again, that's all we can do. I can't do anything for you that you're unwilling to do for yourself or that you're not ready to believe in. But as you know, because we've worked together many times, you are willing, you are ready, you are receptive, but you'll remember and forget just like we all do. It's not the end of the world. It's just contrast. Don't get in your own way. Meditate, pray, keep your journal, and keep giving yourself and your life to God and get out of the way.
True. Yes,
you think?
I took that position actually as of yesterday.
Well,
just to wait.
Things are looking up. Yeah.
I just wanted to check in and see, like, maybe I'm overlooking something.
No, honey. To be inspired is to be full of spirit. And we're not there all the time, I say again. So it's like, you know, roller coaster. When I'm inspired, then I can bring something to you that you go, oh, that feels true. And I remember that part of myself, and I'm open to that part of myself. But if you're not ready for that or available for that, it doesn't mean it's not true for me. It just means that I can't share with you what I believe to be true. And that's fine. There's no problem. Another time it may happen. If it's going to happen, it'll happen some other time. It's perfect.
That is beautiful, Lou. I knew that, you know, some things remain the same and stable and grounding, especially when you go through the times when you just, you know, like I said, like you feel reality is changing, like you actually feel going through the different what they call them, densities or you know, like you actually
yeah, just keep it very simple, Yana. You know, you either feel love or fear. People are either feeling love or fear. If we're, you know, sharing our truth with each other, hopefully it's inspiring, hopefully it's helpful, hopefully it's a reminder of what people in their hearts know to be true. If it isn't, it's not a problem. There'll be another opportunity to share that from your heart to theirs, and there'll be somebody else to help them to learn that when they're ready to learn it. There's no right or wrong about it. It's just the dance.
Okay.
Yeah. Riveted on the process. You're welcome, sweetheart. Riveted on the process, detached to the outcome. You weren't here earlier. It never comes the way I think it's going to come, my friend. That's my quote for today.
Definitely. I say amen to that.
Thank you. All right,
so
honey.
Yes,
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, babe.
I think what you said about being attached to the outcome is true. So much of the time, whatever we give someone, it's a gift. We offer something because we say to the universe, we're in service. How can we serve? And then we give our gift of love or attention or knowledge or experience to someone else. But then we have to really realize we're giving it to them, and we can't keep holding on to them and holding on to it and trying to determine the best way that person should utilize that gift or to integrate it. We really have to give it away and know just the gift of it is the service.
Yeah.
But that at that point, we are done. we're done.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing for everyone,
Well,
I think.
Yes, dear. But, you know, I want to say, Karen, music, chanting, meditation, toning, praying, you know, affirmations, writing in a journal, anything that brings the energy through us, which you know very well, that clears the channel so that we know what giving feels like.
Right.
We know what being inspired feels like. We know what being in the flow feels like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tarek had typed a question. He's typing in the other chat, so we're not seeing his questions in this chat, but he asked a
How's the
question.
other chat going, Tarek?
Well, there's a Google Hangouts chat that doesn't show up in this chat, but anyway, he's typing there, so he must be on his phone.
All right.
But Tarek, can you, I don't know if you can unmute to ask your question. If not, I will ask it for you. I'll give you like 3 seconds to unmute. Can you?
Yes, hello.
There
Hi.
you go. Cool.
Hi.
Go ahead, Tarek. Go ahead.
How are you?
Very
Yeah,
good.
great.
Yes, I'm just asking about autonomy of
About
soul.
About soul.
The anatomy
Yeah.
of the soul.
Ah,
Yeah.
go, babe. Get deep with it.
Yeah, I want to know if you have information about this subject.
Sure. Everyone's got one. What else would you like to know? I'm teasing.
Want to know
Come ahead.
the autonomy of the souls, the heart, and the things, the organs.
Yeah.
Of the soul.
Okay, brother. I'll share with you what I know about it. Yeah, because it is a very beautiful, deep subject. So this is the way Lazarus explained it to us. The soul is connected to us through our heart, and the soul is the feminine energy of who we are as a spiritual being. And the soul is about emotion, beauty, these kinds of beautiful energies. Love, yeah. The spirit is in the mind, and the spirit is the free will, and the spirit is the masculine energy of deciding and determining and these kinds of energies. The higher self is the spiritual part of ourself that is connected to us through our soul and spirit. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So when we, the Course in Miracles is really beautiful about all of this as well. It says, what is true is what is eternally true. And what is the illusion is what is temporarily true. So, the great line, the prelude to the Course, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So when you really get down to metaphysics, it's always about paradox. There's the man, the woman, and the sacred marriage. There's the thesis, the antithesis, and the synthesis. Everything tends to repeat in this pattern of three. And so the soul is that eternal part of yourself, the feminine emotional part of yourself, that is one of your deepest connections to source. Does it make sense?
Okay. Yes, thank you. And I want to ask another question about the sun. Is it just we can just receive the informations from light, or we can send? So sometimes I feel I can send and receive.
Absolutely. That's very enlightened of you. Yeah, I mean, Patricia Coda-Robles talks about suns beyond suns. And, Lazarus teaches us that there are not just 7 major chakras, but 12 of them, and ultimately many more. So there are 3 chakras above our head, the 7 in our body, the 1 below our feet, and 3 above our head. And the 1 above our head is the great central sun. The number 12 is the great central sun. So you're quite right, my friend. As you send and receive love and light, as you work with the energy of wisdom and the divine masculine will and enlightenment and illumination and all of that, yeah, you can definitely send and receive to the sun. Plus, since we really are beings of love and light having a temporary physical experience, anytime you send energy through your heart, your third eye, your hands, etc., you know, you can call upon the sun to help you to do that as well. Yeah, does it help?
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Have
That's
fun.
good.
Have fun. You're a conscious, creative being. Look at how powerful you are. Have fun with it.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Oh, Michelle, go ahead.
Hi, Lou. I wanted to ask you about your Kundalini experience that happened many, many years ago, decades ago, right?
Decades.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Decades yesterday.
Yes.
And I was just wondering, like, was it through meditation? Was it a spontaneous? My daughter had this experience where somebody said, "Let me bust you open," and she had like 100% Kundalini awakening.
Wow.
And she could like see through walls and hear everybody's thoughts, and it was
Holy
just really,
cow.
I mean, it was really crazy, crazy, crazy time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was
Fun.
just thinking about, I've experienced my Kundalini, but I've never had it rise past my solar plexus. And
Yes.
I've had that happen usually when I'm doing like Om Namah Shivaya or something like that.
Right.
Or toning sometimes if I will sit and commit to just hanging out for a couple hours. But anyway, I was wondering how you had that experience. And then further, okay, I mean, obviously I've had a lot of experiences, spiritual experiences, but and a lot of awakenings and learnings and growing past things, but I still have this need to like not control my life by choosing nothing all the time. So I'm wondering like how you went from your Kundalini experience to like really hearing and acting on the information you were getting.
Right. Sweetheart, you're this close right now to what you're asking for. And it really is the 2 weeks of tears and coming here and sharing your story with all of us. And yes, to get it from the third chakra into where the party happens, right, Karen? The fourth chakra is to surrender. Did I mention surrender?
Oh, I think you should mention surrender because
yes, dear.
Well, that was my first question when you first started talking. Is you said you surrendered into, and like, how do I surrender? And that how you do is you just do.
Well, yes, it's here. I'll tell you exactly what happened. So I was given a piece of quartz crystal like this one. This is from Brazil. With a friend that I met. I mean, this was divinely timed, just like I trust that this is for you here today. And this friend said, there's a thing called Kundalini energy. And if you meditate with a crystal, you might open it up. And sure as I'm sitting here with you, that's exactly what happened the first time I tried it.
That's insane.
I know. It's almost like there's a higher power at work.
Almost.
Michelle. Yeah. So what are you? So let me tell you what the guidance was while that was happening. Send love. Send love.
Oh yeah.
Love, sexual love, romantic love,
really?
Love of your family. Yes, sweetheart. I'm telling you exactly how it works. Okay. Love of the universe. Love, just fucking love, like crazy. Love yourself. Love. And kapoo, that's what opens that little heart chakra of yours, my friend. So I promise you're that close to an experience like this.
Okay. Well, I think I get.
Or not. It's all in your hands, my friend.
I'm not denying that it will happen. I definitely just have to allow. And my thing is I resist. Even the thing I want this thing, and then I resist it. Like
all right. So I'm gonna pull out the heavy artillery now.
Okay, here we go.
So what have you not forgiven yourself for?
Oh, good question.
Thanks. I get lots of help. Yeah. Well, you may or may not want to answer that right now, but
no,
I do.
I do.
Well,
especially if it's really ugly.
Yes. just like with Lucia, as this beautiful mom who loves her little boy like crazy, but she was struggling letting go of him, allowing him to have his own experience and not judging herself in relationship to his experience. It's there's no other fear than judgment. That's all fear is. Okay, so here's the quote from my guides for you, me, and all of us: build a bridge and get over yourself. Thank you.
Like super fast.
Whenever it suits you, my dear. It's
really slow and painful. Yeah.
It's not about when. It's about how, and how is surrender.
How is surrender? How do you feel you surrendered? Did you just say, "Oh, this happened. I kind of have a picture of what I should be doing, and so this is what I do"?
No. It's a great question. Here's how it is. You get to a place in your life where you are so tired of not being your truest self.
Yes.
And you're so tired of trying everyone else's way and none of it working for you.
Right.
And you know in your heart of hearts, there has to be another way. You have to kind of get to that place in yourself, and then you can step off the cliff and you learn how to fly.
Yeah, I think the control freak mechanism we all seem to have built in is really...
Yes, and yours is quite large and ugly, my friend. It's not charming at all. You know, it's hideous. So do yourself a big favor and get it out of your way. Thank you.
I love your responses so much. They're just perfect for me.
Well, I promise you, I'm sitting right where you're sitting right now 1,000 times. So, you know, if it helps you, I'm thrilled to pieces. Believe me.
Okay.
Yeah. See, the thing with trust is the other side of of control. The other side of control is trust. Right. And I'll tell you this story. This was one that came up recently. So when I first came to Ireland, I was driving around here, and my car broke down on the highway at night, and I could not get a ride, and I couldn't get off the highway. So it was actually on the eve of my 50th birthday. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, I can be here panicked all night long, or because there's no place to go to, or I can just use this as a way to surrender myself to God. So I did that. Mm-hmm. And I want to tell you that at one point during the night, a lorry, a big tractor trailer truck, mm-hmm. I was on the turnoff lane, the shoulder, mm-hmm. and it came up right behind me and it pulled around me. And if it hadn't done that, it would have run into me and I'd been killed. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's not a theoretical exercise. You know, the next morning when I was still alive, thank God, I knock on a farmer's door and he takes me to the petrol station. We get my tire fixed. And I say, oh, by the way, today's my birthday. And he says, wow, it's mine too.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So little subtle hints from the universe like that. Like, Lou, if you surrender, you'll find that life is a lot easier for you than trying to control everything.
Yeah, it is true.
It is, my friend. I mean,
I kind of wanted, because I have 2 kids that are grown now, but it's only been a few years since I started meditating, and all this stuff has been happening, like you know, decades of stuff coming in a very short period of time.
I do know.
It's kind of what it feels like. But
you're a slow learner, your guides say, my friend.
Oh my God, my guide thinks I'm retarded. But
no. That's going a little far. No, sweetheart, you're too attached to your resistance. Your identity is too tied up with your resistance.
It's true. Well, he didn't say retarded. He said he thinks I'm dumb because I just don't learn. I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying, but I love to ram my head into a brick wall until it hurts so bad I can't take it anymore. That's my learning style.
No, that's not
get over.
Yeah, honey, that's not good.
Story about what your learning style is.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Karen. That's your ego.
I'm gonna change that today. Let's
change. That's your story.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I was gonna
forgive yourself.
I was gonna share the one thing that I felt like I did really, really, really well, and it took a very long time. And this had to do with the control and of my kids, I could look back after I meditated. Like, I spent a lot of time in meditation, and they begged me to quit feeling guilty about how I had reared them.
God bless you. There it is. Take a deep breath. Slow down. Stop. Slow down. Feel it. You're there. Feel it. Take a breath. Yeah, stop with the story. Just feel your feelings for 30 seconds here. Everyone take a deep breath, please. We just send all of our love to Michelle. This is what she's been working on, and it's her time to feel it. Yeah, it's time to let it go, my friend.
So it actually surprises me that I just cried, because I thought I had released all of it.
You don't get finished, you get better.
Yeah, I layers and layers layers of better. That's still not good, but
no, it is what it is. It's not good or bad.
But I had a daughter, very suicidal, from the time she was very young. Both my son and daughter, and they're very bright and shiny. Like, they have a lot of superpowers, let's say. Okay. And so they just had other things outside of them. I mean, I was not the only person in this game, and we all signed up to play this game together anyway. Yeah. And my daughter come to live with me, and I had a session with 𝗪𝗪𝗡𝗧𝗡𝗡𝗧, who's a 14th dimensional being, and she said, Michelle, you are a healer, and you have to look at her as if you are just a healer. Like, you do not put what you want for hers on her. You don't decide who she is based on past experiences and what she always did. And don't. And so what I would do is I would catch myself when I would be having the thought of how I wanted something to go, or she always does, or she's definitely thinking this, or she's doing that. And I would say, pause. And I would say, you don't know anything about her experience. You work on your experience. And that was really beautiful, because it took a really treacherous relationship and transformed it into something beautiful. And my daughter is on a massive, huge spiritual track, but it took whatever life experiences that were really treacherous and ugly and hard for her to get to that place.
Yes, honey. None of us gets to the church door except on our knees.
Right.
You got to make your peace with that. It's not an easy journey, but it's why you're here.
But it was super beautiful. I mean, but it has been I wanted to share that once I could back off then and let another person be who they are without judgment, which is the closest I can come to unconditional love that I'm aware of.
Right. But now it's your turn, Michelle.
Yeah.
Now it's time to get you off the cross, because we need the wood back, my friend.
Oh, you need to build something.
Well, sweetheart, your martyrhood has run its course. You know, your subscription is run out now. We want you happy, joyous, and free, please.
This is very good. I'm really appreciative that we could point this in the right direction. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Merci.
We'll have a good laugh and cry again sometime, I'm sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Lou.
Yes, dear.
Maybe we could talk about nonviolent communication.
Sure.
When it comes to self-talk.
Brilliant. Take the lead.
Well,
I'm all ears, Karen.
I hear it in all the mothers that have spoken.
Yeah.
And there's this expectation of blame, internal blame, that is not true, and it becomes the story.
Right.
It becomes the story, and I just thought maybe you could talk about it, because you're very good at identifying people's self-talk and self-stories, and the
sure.
The thing is that part of nonviolent communication, the first part of it is self-care.
Yeah.
To empathize. I approach nonviolent communication from, if people don't know what it is, it's a way of communicating with yourself and with other people, but it really does start with the person themselves. And you have to first have empathy for yourself.
Yes.
Before you can ever empathize with another.
That's exactly right. And
when you ask Michelle about what hasn't she forgiven for herself, and also with Lucia, and also even with Lana, trying to take responsibility for everybody else's spiritual awakening, that idea of I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I haven't done it right.
Yeah.
That's based on a story that has been picked up in your own childhood, in your own coming up. And that's when we talk about what needs to be healed.
Right.
It's not the person you're trying to help really that ever needs to be healed. It's always us.
Right.
And it's always our attachment to a story that really isn't true. And you said it earlier. What is true? I'm a divine being. I don't know the things that you reeled off, but those were the truths. And the rest of them is all the stories that we have for ourselves. So maybe you could expand on that a little bit.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. That was gorgeous. Karen, you just, I could do this every day of my life. This is such.
We can do it. We can have our own show.
I think so. I think we're getting.
Karen and Lou talking about stuff. That's what's going
I love it. I'd be there. I'd be there with bells on. Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is, you're a mom too. Are you, Karen?
I am a dog mom.
You're a dog mom. All right. Well, you have great
compassion. But I will say I am not a mother, and I can't, but I can see it. The only thing I can say is I can see it.
Yeah.
That is not something that's active in me. I have my own active stuff.
Sure.
But I see it across mothers.
Yeah.
Very much so. And across women, but in different ways, but especially across mothers.
Sure.
And I can see it because I'm not having it. Let's just say
right.
Yeah.
So the rule book that my guides teach me is men are allowed to be sad, but men are allowed to be angry, but can't be sad. And women are allowed to be sad, but can't be angry. And so in wholeness, healness, and healing, and becoming whole and becoming holy, we need to balance and have a place for all of our emotions, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, pleasant, unpleasant, whatever they might be. And so in general, my experience is women tend to deny their anger or their boundaries or their power or their truth and turn it in on themselves and feel guilty that their needs are not met, or they're not able to get their needs met, or people don't understand them, or they're not good enough. These kinds of exaggerated self-judgments.
I don't learn well. I'm slow to learn. I can't learn.
Right.
All the things that someone said that to you. Someone reflected that to you as a child, and now it's become your story.
Right.
And all of these things, or he's not living up to his potential. He's not grasping. That's something that somewhere there's a fear in there that maybe because you didn't do it, that it's not being done. But somewhere someone put that fear in you, and it becomes a story. It really becomes a story.
Right. So when we tell ourselves, as you're saying, it's the truth. When we tell ourselves, "Oh, I'm not okay, and what I did is wrong. What I did is bad. What I did, I should feel bad about." Until we come back to that and face that belief and forgive that belief, often through tears and grief, anger, sorrow, basically letting it go, and having compassion and forgiveness and acceptance for those feelings, those judgments of self. Until we make that emotional shift, it stays right where we left it. And we don't know that, like you're saying, until we see that reflected in our relationship. Relationship is, we come to planet Earth to have relationship, and relationship is designed to help us to see our disowned and denied stuff, as well as our positive, beautiful things. So as you're saying, our relationship with ourselves is reflective of what we believe, what we believe we are in relation to God and source and spirit and soul and all of that, versus, you know, or in tandem with our humanity. So this is the way my guides put it together. They say your humanity and your divinity are two parts of the same thing, and they need each other. Your divine feminine of love and compassion and emotion, your divine masculine of power and strength and will, they are incomplete without each other. So the great shift that's happening, you nailed it exactly. It's all in the inner child, in our deep unconscious emotional body. That's all rising to the surface now as the vibration of the planet gets higher. And so that's why there's so much intensity emotionally, because the old rules of living in the world are not going to work in the new world. And that's why truth and authenticity, to come full circle today, have to be our guides and our goals. Because if we're not loving ourselves, we can't give that to another. And if we're not being honest with ourselves, we can't give that to each other either. So it's all this amazing reflection of what's possible that we're all moving through with greater speed than ever before.
I would agree. I would agree with you very much. Thank you so much for that. Linda Weichman made a very nice comment. She says the message she received. You want to say it, Linda? Can you unmute? Do you want to say it?
Yes, and the message I received was leave it at the door, because where we're going, there is no pain and no fear. Don't bring it, because it's where we're going. Why would you want it a lower vibration in a higher vibrational state of being? There is none. So leave it at the door. Leave it all behind. And I received it like a week ago.
Right.
I would offer something extra to that if I may.
Thanks, Linda. Yeah.
Linda, I would just say, you know, pain is, there's nothing wrong with pain. I agree with you about the fear, but I think with pain, if we look at something from a non-dual standpoint, everything is valid, and our willingness to, if we have the pain, sit with it and observe it, experience it, and then let it go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to bring it with you.
What you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to bring it with you.
Linda, is that your granddaughter is singing such a lovely song in the next room there?
Yeah, they're actually upstairs.
Oh, well.
I can't even hear her.
Oh, yeah. She's
Turn
great.
it up. I can't hear it.
Well,
I can't hear your grandchildren.
It's there.
I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. They really wanted to be with Grandma, but I told them, I'm in a meeting right now.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Well, this is it, my friends. I mean, I think we're coming down the home stretch here, Karen, for today. Yeah. So, you know, that beautiful song from your granddaughter there, she's telling our story, my friends. This is who we are. You know, we're all children of God, and the more we learn to love ourselves, the better we can love each other. And, you know, Kundalini or Christ consciousness or enlightenment, whatever word you want to put on it, that is, to come back to your point earlier, Karen, that is at the core and the depth of who we are. So whenever you want to renew yourself, go to that peaceful place in your heart and give your life to that beautiful energy. When you come back out, every time you do it, you're going to feel safer, stronger, and clearer. And this is really the path for all of us in this lifetime. We go within or we go without. We're here to wake up and to stay awake. That's the challenge. Yeah, somebody else just jumped in.
Elaine just came in, but Elaine, we're about to go off.
I'm sorry, but this is a miracle that I was even able to do this.
God love you, darling.
Oh, what a great accent you have.
Straight from Scotland. God love you.
Oh, nice.
Oh my gosh.
Do you have a final word here, Elaine? We'll take your blessing. Anything
do you want to give a
ask
blessing for us while we go off the air? We're going to take a blessing. You want to do a blessing?
Well, I tell you what, I'm not sure I'm as gifted as you. Like, this is Baby Belle who's going to join in. But I just want to say thank you so much for the small part that I've heard and listened to today. I'm not a technical person. I've managed to press the buttons to get on this. It's amazing.
Great.
But the wisdom that I've heard, the openness, the love, the acceptance of all, and the sharing has just been fantastic. The small parts that I've managed to connect with on this forum. So thank you, and
you're the Celtic icing on my cake today, my friend. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Where in Scotland are you?
I'm actually just outside Dublin in Drogheda, but I've lived in Ireland 25 years.
Oh,
okay. Very good. Well, I'm going to get back up to Dublin and do a workshop soon. So follow me. Yes, thank you. If you all want to follow me, you can go to my Facebook page, which is Lou Martin or Lightheart 2012. And I'll give you my Gmail address here if you want to drop me a line. It's lightheart2018@gmail.com. And I do the morning prayers. I'll just do my little bit here, Karen. I do morning prayers Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. And I'll do a spirit talk once or twice every week as well. So I'd love to have some of you new people join me on the journey there.
Also, too, his information is in the description on the YouTube, so you can go find his website, but also his Facebook page. It's there, so be sure be sure to check him out.
Very good. My website is down at the moment, so stick with the Facebook.
Okay, don't go to the website. Just go to the Facebook.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Thank you, everyone. It's been a joy. You're so welcome. God bless each and every one of you.
Yeah, much love to you.
Thank you. Peace and blessings. Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay. Yeah. Cheers.
Okay, so anyway, so everyone, thank you. It's been a joy to do this webinar today with Lou and to talk to everyone. Just so you know, next week, Jim will be back. And then the week after that, we have a very special guest. Jim is always special, but we have Ruben Langdon, who is, he's a well-known voiceover actor. He was the stuntman for the main character in the movie Avatar. And he's also a documentary filmmaker. And he's been doing over the last, I guess, 6-7 years, he's been doing different interviews with different channelers. He has a documentary series called Interview with an ED. And you can find that on Vimeo. But he's also the actor in the Devil May Cry video game and a couple other. He's a big time, like he's huge in Japan. I don't know how else to say it, but he's a really amazing guy, and he just has such beautiful insight on spirituality, and also he's very focused on, extraterrestrials, or he calls them extra dimensionals, just all those beautiful energies. So he'll be here in 2 weeks, and then the week after that, I think Jim is back. And then on the 18th of March, we will have Rob Gothier here. So he's finally coming in. He was supposed to be here a couple months ago and it didn't work out, but he'll be here on the 18th. So just check the website, hucolo.org, for the little schedule, and you can see who's coming up. And everyone here, if you would like to become a member of Human Colony, you can go to hucolo.org/webinars. And for $10 a month, you can help support Human Colony and all of its endeavors. It just helps us keep the lights on and keep the videos coming and stuff like that. So much love to you, everyone. And is there anyone that wants to do a blessing before we go?
I always want to do blessings.
Michelle wants to do a blessing. Anyone else? I'll do one. Do you want to do one?
I'll watch and learn.
Oh, your blessing is your well wishes, whatever you want to send, but it's up to you. So you're welcome to do one as well. So Michelle, go ahead and then tell me your name.
Me?
Elaine.
My name's Elaine. Yeah.
Okay, Elaine. It's Michelle and then Elaine. Go ahead, Michelle.
Mo se anai e ku a shaka ate ananeato po otata se enanam. Monane e se kutoto osha ta ananeatake. Otake ase ananeapo unaneha. E shakoto omanane. Asa onaneatko ase ananae. Odanane sokotate se anane. Mote aseata. Measo.
Very nice. Thank you. Elaine, go ahead.
Oh wow. I don't know a word that you said, but the intention behind it I know was fabulous.
It was a light language, and I'm sure, and in my feeling, it was an activation for all of us to just be focused on love and our own self.
Well, I think that's you've just hit the nail on the head, isn't it? It's always been focus on love, and not just for each other, but for ourselves.
Yeah.
And when we love ourselves, we can love everyone around us all the more. So I think that's something important to remember. So really, I suppose, just love and light to everyone. And this is quite amazing. I've never done anything like this before. So thank you for this.
Well, welcome. I'm glad you made it in, even if it was at the end. You're welcome to come back anytime. So every Saturday we have the Human Colony webinar, and yeah, we're here every Saturday at this time.
Wow, I will.
Okay. So I'm gonna play a little. Trying to think what's that. I'm going to play a little mantra. It's for 𝗪𝗪𝗕. It's for the feminine. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do. It's for 𝗪𝗪𝗕. 𝗪𝗪𝗕 is she's the feminine energy of Kali, and she's the divine feminine energy within us. And what this mantra says is that I bow again and again and again to you. You who has come to play with us, you has come to bring us our grace, our joy, our love. So it goes. 𝗪𝗪𝗕, 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 Jai Jai Ma. 𝗪𝗪𝗕, 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 Jai Jai Ma. Jagadambe, Jai Jai Ma. Jagadambe, Jai Jai Ma. 𝗪𝗪𝗕, 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 Jai Jai Ma. 𝗪𝗪𝗕, 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 Jai Jai Ma. Jagadambe, Jai Jai Ma. Jagadambe, Jai Jai Ma. And yes, Paula, it's on the 18th of May. 𝗪𝗪𝗕, 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 Jai Jai Ma. 𝗪𝗪𝗕, 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 Jai Jai Ma. Jagadambe, Jai Jai Ma. Jagadambe, Jai Jai Ma. 𝗪𝗪𝗕, 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 Jai Jai Ma. 𝗪𝗪𝗕, 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 Jai Jai Ma. Jagadambe, Jai Jai Ma. Jagadambe, Jai Jai Ma. Jai Jai Ma. Much love to you, everyone. This has been the Saturday Human Colony Hucolo webinar, and we'll see you next time. Much love.
Much love. Bye-bye, guys.